Patrick Tuohey with the Show Me Institute is here on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM. You can always stream us on the KCMO Talk Radio app. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. Happy birthday, Baba Booey.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Yeah. Getting old, man. Getting old.
It beats the alternative.
Good point. That's a good way to look at it. Am I now late 30s or mid 30s at 37? You tell me.
I'd go by threes. I think you are late 30s.
Oh, killing me.
Oh, whatever.
Wrong answer.
I'm 53. I don't want to hear you kvetching about, getting old.
All right. A lot of conversations this week in Kansas City, obviously, about the crime continuing to be a problem. 13th and Grand, 2 people shot in a parking lot at 3:30 in the morning. The mayor is mad at parking lots now. He's trying to figure out what to do about parking lots.
Look, Pete, I parked in your Corporate Woods parking lot to get here. I was frightened. I understand that parking lots kill people. I saw no security. Lord knows what sorts of handguns or rifle are lurking under that asphalt. It's frightening. And look, I, for one, am glad that Mayor Lucas is finally standing up and making the difficult pronunciation that, look, it's asphalt. Asphalt is killing people, and fields of asphalt are horrible.
Well, and it's amazing because those lots were there in 2014 when we had record low for homicides in a generation with about 80 people. In 2014, I believe it was. So those parking lots got a lot more violent the last 10 years or so, huh? That's the only conclusion to come to.
Maybe it's a formulation of tar they're using.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the amount of gravel. But look, clearly, it's not lax law enforcement. It's not understaffed police department. It's not a history of prosecutors not prosecuting. It's obviously parking lots. And really, broader than just asphalt parking lots, it's clearly the fault of businesses that choose to operate in Kansas City. If you are a gas station or you own a small grocery store and somebody is shot there, it's obviously your fault. If you operate a parking garage or a parking lot and someone gets shot there, it's obviously your fault. It's the world turned upside down. Obviously, I'm joking about that. It's the world turned upside down. Nobody wants to accept, and I get it. I don't pretend that solving crime is easy, but nobody wants to stand up and accept responsibility. We have had mayors now for decades who say that, well, I don't control the police department. Demonstrably untrue. We have a mayor now who ran amazingly on a platform of keeping the homicide rate under 100. Not only has that not worked out, but we've had the highest homicide rates and numbers in Kansas City. And so now what are we doing? When you've got nothing else to do, why not just blame the businesses where the crimes occurred? That's where we are in Kansas City.
At what point do the businesses just say enough's enough? And what I keep waiting for is the Chamber of Commerce, the Restaurant Association, any of those people to grow a pair and stand up and say, we're done getting beat up over this. We're done getting the finger pointed at us. But it seems like that they're enjoying the cocktail parties too much and all the other nonsense.
The problem with the Chamber of Commerce, there are many problems with the Chamber of Commerce, but the main one is that they are the greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. So a lot of the board members, at least this was true a few years ago, run nonprofits. So they're kind of divorced from the profit, how to run a business, how to keep a salary, how to actually sell a product. And many of them live on the Kansas side. So they will live on the Kansas side, run their businesses on the Kansas side, and then once in a while chime in and tell us what we ought to do in Kansas City, Missouri. But they oftentimes have solved the problems for themselves, which is they've gotten the hell out of Dodge. There are many of us who still live in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's either because we're too poor to move out, too stupid to move out, or like me, I just like older houses. But nothing demonstrates the fact that Kansas City leadership is absolutely out of ideas on what to do about crime than these ridiculous statements about grocery store or gas station owners and parking lots. There is no theory of the case. There is no premise upon which a broader strategy is being built. And I can demonstrate this. Years ago, Quentin Lucas decided we're going to defund the police. We're going to cut the police budget and move it into community type, sociology type stuff. And then a few years later, after court battles and whatever, he decides, no, we're going to spend more on the police, specifically salaries and raises. Okay, whatever your view on crime and criminal justice reform, whatever your view, left or right, taking a 180-degree about face on policing demonstrates that there is no core idea. There is no theory of what's going on and how to fix it. It is just sticking my finger in the wind and going with whatever national democratic talking points tell me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many dead we have in Kansas City because of dithering, but we have too many. And again, parking lots, gas stations just tell me there's no theory of the case. They don't know what they're doing.
Patrick Tuohey with the Show Me Institute is here on KCMO. And think about this. If the vote last year in Jackson County went differently for the Chiefs and the Royals, I mean, John Sherman might be in the process of building a stadium down the road from where these latest homicides were at 13th and Grand. The Jackson County voters may have helped John Sherman dodge a bullet, literally and figuratively.
All right. Look, I don't know, because what would have happened had he breaking ground? Mm-hmm. Maybe the downtown would have had a lot more police protection, because what we learn from big events like the World Cup is that Kansas City does not serve the needs of all of us. Kansas City serves the needs of a few of us, or often Kansas City serves the needs of people who might come visit and spend money here. So I imagine that were the Royals breaking ground, were they digging, there'd be a lot of security downtown to avoid something like this, more than there is now. Although we had a Chiefs rally shooting. Yeah. So maybe there's a hole in my logic. But yeah, there are lots of reasons that maybe Sherman is grateful that he's not downtown, although on balance, I'm sure they would have preferred to win than lose.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we sit here right now, yesterday came and went, so there's not going to be anything on the ballot in November for either team in Jackson County. So now we're kicking the can down the road.
Ridiculous.
The earliest anything could be on the ballot on the Missouri side is probably the April election. So that would be 2 years from the first go-around.
Well, look, the evidence is they've learned their lesson, gotten their act together, and presented the public with a thoroughly vetted, open plan that they want us to vote for. No, of course they haven't. I can't say it enough. It's an embarrassment. I don't know what's going on the inside. I want to read the book that details this, kind of the Bob Woodward, inside scoop. Maybe you'll write it. But this is just a comedy of errors. And again, maybe somebody is brilliant on the inside, is doing secret negotiations that none of us know about. I just find, based on their track record, that to be implausible.
All right, Patrick, I got to ask you, too. You wrote this piece here recently about the funding of the arts.
Yeah.
And, you have Trump, who's now going to be hosting the Kennedy Center Honors. Come on, that's going to be hilarious.
Well,
that's going to be so funny. Trump hosting the Kennedy Center Awards. It's going to be priceless, man.
Well, look, it may be all those things. I don't share his aesthetic. I don't share his taste. And I wish that politicians didn't get involved in the arts.
Patrick Tuohey, not a Kid Rock fan. The guy doesn't like Lee Greenwood. Get him out of the studio.
I used to joke with one of my Show Me colleagues, because remember years ago there was a rumor that Kid Rock was going to run for the Senate, and she and I agreed that if he announces we are quitting our jobs and working on the Kid Rock for Senate campaign. I don't have his taste in art. I don't think the government ought to be getting involved in art, but when government funds the arts, you are going to invite the opinions of guys like Senator Jesse Helms from back in the 80s and Rudy Giuliani in New York in the 90s and Trump now. So my solution is, hey, arts, you're already overwhelmingly funded privately. Just cut the cord. Get rid of that last bit of public funding, and you will be protected against these right-wing knuckle draggers who, want to tell you what is appropriate art.
Well, so you're just saying get out of the business of art, and I agree with that. The Kennedy Center, do you know how much that is publicly funded by chance?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, look, it's a hideous building. It's meant to be, if you pull up a picture of it, it's just ugly. It's meant to be kind of a modern version of the Lincoln Memorial. So it was built with, Kennedy in mind, I guess. It's just hideous. It's beautiful on the inside, but it's ugly to look at from the outside. Again, one man's opinion. I don't know what Trump is. I mean, is it just going to be a lot more gold on the inside when he's done?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's got planned. All I know is when he MCs and hosts the award show this year, it's going to be hilarious.
I won't watch it. I'll watch clips after the fact. But yes, it's going to be funny. But, at what cost?
I agree in the sense like why we have politicians picking honorees for arts awards is just ridiculous to me, no matter who's in charge. I agree with the premise. So I'm not going to debate or argue with you on that front. I just want you, and I want to convince you by the end of the year, to sit there whenever the awards are and watch it and enjoy it and laugh at the event because it is going to be gold, man.
Look, yeah. Again, I think there's an opportunity here to stop one argument.
Okay.
To stop one argument about the arts. Stop taking their money. And by the way, the point I make in the article, which appeared in the Star, is the Kaufman Performing Arts Center in Kansas City is a great example of this. The city built the parking garage, but had nothing to do with the Performing Arts Center. And I have been told that was intentional. The people that were funding it didn't want City Hall getting involved in any of it. And that is something the left should pursue nationwide.
December 7th, Kennedy Center Awards. Don't miss them. Patrick Tuohey. Hey, stay safe when you walk out here out of the building to the parking lot. It could be dangerous. All right.
Maybe Hollywood can escort me out. Do you think?
John might be able to help.
All
John's
right.
a big guy. He's kind of intimidating looking,
Well,
right?
he's packing too. I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got us covered. Mark's got his Kelsey jersey on. He's not going to be any help today. He's just he's on cloud nine. He's not paying attention to his surroundings. So
are people angry about this because it's just going to be more press coverage during Chiefs games of Taylor
I don't think
Swift?
so. I don't think so. I think it's great. I love it.
I think it's fine. I think it's kind of embarrassing that it made the front page of the Kansas City Star, but I get it.
Hey, it's a clicks game, brother.
Yeah,
welcome
true.
to the world of clicks.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't doubt it.
Patrick Tuohey with the Show Me Institute on KCMO. What If Wednesday? 3 questions coming up next on 95.7 FM.